I just watched Finn Wolfhard and Billy Brick's newest horror movie, Hell of a Summer, and I actually think it's worth your time. I'm Real Slim Katie 25. Let's get into it. First, let's start with the good. Hell of a Summer has an awesome ensemble cast. These are all really young film professionals, led by most notably Finn Wolfhard, who you guys know from Stranger Things. And performances across the board are super solid. There was no acting in this film that made me, drop my water bottle. It's a summer slasher. Didn't really need to be more than that. Everybody had a very clear sense of what genre they were in, and I loved how they kind of played into each character being somewhat of a stereotype, but it didn't feel so big that they weren't believable as people. This movie is filled out with a great ensemble cast, supported by Fred Heckinger, Matthew Finlan, and Abby Quinn. None of the characters feel so big or out of genre that they take away from the story. They all feel believable and realistic as characters. I particularly enjoyed Fred Heckinger as Jason, mostly because he feels so much like somebody I would meet in real life. AKA, I've met so many of those people in real life. Kind of cringe, kind of awkward, kind of condescending, kind of pompous, but not with the intention of doing so you still find them charming. It's a slasher. It doesn't need to be Oscar winning. I talked about this a little bit too last week with the Minecraft movie, about a film knowing its genre and knowing its audience, so they put their eggs in the right baskets. And this film does that really well. A huge standout to me in this movie was the score, composed by Jay McCarroll, a composer with no credits that I know of or have seen before. Came up with a really engaging and thrilling score that made every chase scene and every death so exciting. I really likened this to the score for Halloween because it really made me feel in the moment. It got me excited. It says, I'm watching a fun slasher in the best way. Let's talk about the deaths. There were some amazing kills in this movie. I know this is a spoiler-free review, but there were some very creative kills that involved fun objects that I haven't seen used in a while, if ever, and helped contribute to the horror comedy aspect as well. So still making these thrilling kills, but also you can laugh at how interesting and creative they are. Which kind of leads me to talk about the screenplay. This is a film written by young movie makers, and you can hear it in their voice. This really feels like a group of Gen Z kids made a film about Gen Z going to camp. And it just feels very authentic. All of the dialogue, none of the jokes felt too forced. All of the comedy felt realistic in the situations that they were in. So it wasn't playing this like breaking the fourth wall comedy. All of the humor came from the characters from a very natural place and from the absurdity of the situations and the conversations they were having with each other. And there were some truly hilarious conversations. Minor dialogue spoiler, but one of the characters speculating that they're being killed in order of hottest to least hot is offended that they weren't killed first, which is so absurd and funny, but also likens to the whole conundrum of wow, I'm so glad I wasn't catcalled, but why? Was I not hot enough to be harassed by, these people or whatever? Just a hilarious situation, a very interesting take from a place of very high privilege and naivete. Plus, this movie has so many random theater jokes and a fun, they just put in a monologue from Midsummer Night's Dream. And as a former Puck myself, I just adored that. But this is one of those movies that a specific scene or a character or a line didn't stand out to me. It was just the overall vibe of how the movie made me feel. There are some things I remember. I thought the opening sequence was very memorable. There's this amazing misdirect where you think you're supposed to be looking somewhere for whatever bad thing is going to be happening. And they have a really fun twist. I also really like the pacing of this movie. In every good slasher, there's, a point of who is the killer / now how do I defeat the killer? And I felt like they spent good time in both of those categories. But yeah, overall, I mean, there's not one particular thing that just stood out to me. It just overall felt so cohesive and just fun. If you're looking for a summer thriller, this movie, I could not recommend another movie more to be watched at a campfire over the summer. If you live near me, we will be watching this on the projector in the backyard, sitting around the fire pit, because it's a perfect movie for that. And yes, I know I've been told that my suggestions for those things are summing off. My suggestions for outdoor movies aren't always the best. Because yes, I will be that person to watch Blair Witch Project in the woods. And I will be that person to watch Sinister in the middle of nowhere. Because how could it be more exciting? And this movie could not be more exciting to watch with a group of friends. This is just the perfect summer slasher. It made me feel one step closer to summer watching it. And overall was just a really fun time. I certainly hope that they explore more in the horror/horror comedy genre, because I loved what they brought to the table. Anyways, have you guys seen this? Anyways, if you have seen this movie, let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. There's nothing I love more than hearing what people think of movies I've seen. And if you like this video, me and my best friend Louie make videos like this all the time, so please check out our channel and some other videos you might like of ours. The best way to help a small channel like us is sharing content. If you like this with friends and family, or just give us a like. And I'm super grateful if you've watched this far in the video, so thanks so much for sticking around. And I hope you guys have a great day!